LeBron James discovers his high school coach is struggling. His next move shocks everyone. LeBron James had always believed that his success was not just the result of his incredible athleticism, but also due to the unwavering support and guidance of the people who had been part of his journey. Growing up in Akron, Ohio, LeBron faced many challenges, but one constant was the mentorship he received from those who believed in his potential. His high school coach, Coach Frank Walker, had been one of the most influential figures in LeBron's life during his formative years at St. Vincent St. Mary High School. Coach Walker wasn't just a coach to LeBron, he was a father figure, someone who saw the young boy's raw potential and pushed him to refine it, to channel it with discipline and heart. Coach Walker was tough but fair, always demanding the best from LeBron, and the two developed a special bond that would last long after LeBron's high school days ended. LeBron had been aware of Coach Walker's struggles when he first left for the NBA. Life had been difficult for his mentor after LeBron moved on to greater stages, and over the years, Coach Walker's life had taken a different turn. Despite the coaching success and the pride of having shaped one of the greatest basketball players in history, Coach Walker had faded from the spotlight. Years passed, and LeBron's career soared. He became an icon, a global ambassador for the sport, a philanthropist, and a businessman. But with all his success, LeBron never forgot where he came from and the people who had shaped him. He often thought back to those high school years when the gym was filled with promise and potential, when he was just another kid from Akron dreaming big. It wasn't until a quiet afternoon, while LeBron was preparing for an upcoming charity event, that he stumbled upon a headline that caught his attention. It was a local news piece about Coach Walker's current state, something that was both shocking and deeply unsettling. The article painted a picture of a man who had once been revered in the basketball world but now found himself struggling both financially and emotionally. LeBron felt a pang of concern. The coach, who had guided him through some of the toughest years of his life, was now facing hardship, a far cry from the man who had always been strong and proud. LeBron's mind raced. It had been years since he had been in touch with Coach Walker directly, but this news hit him hard. His first instinct was to reach out. But LeBron knew this wasn't just about a phone call. This was about more than checking in. It was about recognizing that someone who had played a significant role in shaping his life needed help, and it was up to him to offer it. LeBron sat in silence for a moment, reflecting on his coach's influence, on those days in high school when Coach Walker believed in him even when no one else did. He realized that the bond they had wasn't just about basketball, it was about life. And now, as a grown man, LeBron was in a position to give back, to make a difference in the life of someone who had done the same for him. But what could he do? How could he help someone who had given him so much when LeBron was just starting his journey? The question hung in the air as LeBron picked up the phone, his fingers hesitating over the contact list. He had to make a decision, and it had to be the right one. This was just the beginning of a story that would leave everyone around them shocked. The next move LeBron James would make wasn't something anyone could have predicted. LeBron spent the following days deep in thought, struggling with how best to approach the situation with Coach Walker. He had seen the headlines, but now he needed more details. His mind kept circling back to that article, thinking about how Coach Walker had always been a beacon of strength and discipline. To learn that he was struggling in such a profound way was unsettling. One evening, after wrapping up a charity event in Los Angeles, LeBron decided to take action. He contacted one of his old high school teammates, Mike Harris, who had stayed in touch with Coach Walker over the years. Mike had always kept LeBron updated on the coach's situation, even though LeBron hadn't reached out personally for a while. "Hey, Mike," LeBron said when he finally reached him, "I need you to fill me in on something. I saw that article about Coach Walker. Is everything all right with him? What's really going on?" Mike's voice on the other end was a bit hesitant. "You know, LeBron, I was hoping you hadn't seen that. It's bad, man. Coach is going through a rough time. Financially, mentally, everything. After you left, things started falling apart for him. The school didn't offer him as much support as we thought they would, and it hit him hard. He's been living paycheck to paycheck for the last few years." LeBron was silent for a moment, letting Mike's words sink in. "I had no idea," he muttered, mostly to himself. He always seemed like he had everything together. He was the one who made sure we were all set, on and off the court. "Yeah," Mike said softly, "but Coach never asked for help. He wouldn't. He's the kind of guy who hides his struggles, who wants to deal with it on his own. But now, it's catching up with him. I know he's been pushing through, but he's really in a bad spot." LeBron felt a mix of guilt and urgency. He had been so focused on his own journey, on his career, on his foundation and business ventures, that he had lost touch with the people who mattered most. Coach Walker had been there from the very beginning, guiding him, believing in him when the world hadn't even noticed him. How had he let his coach fall into this situation without offering a hand? "Mike," LeBron said, his voice firm, "I'm going to do something about this. He deserves more than this. I'm not going to let him struggle alone. We need to get him the help he needs." Mike was quiet for a moment, then responded with a hopeful tone. "I knew you'd come through, LeBron. You've always been the one who looked out for all of us. If anyone can make a difference, it's you." LeBron didn't waste any more time. He immediately started reaching out to his team and his contacts, setting things in motion. He wanted to make sure that Coach Walker had everything he needed, from financial support to mental health resources. LeBron was determined to make it right. Later that week, LeBron flew back to Akron to meet with Coach Walker in person. He wasn't sure what to expect, but he knew he had to show up. This wasn't just about helping someone he admired, this was about showing gratitude for all that Coach had done for him. Arriving in Akron, LeBron drove to the familiar high school gym, where he had spent countless hours growing up. The gym still looked the same, with the worn-out basketball court and the echo of past games lingering in the air. Coach Walker had retired from coaching years ago, but the gym still carried his legacy. LeBron stepped out of the car, his heart heavy with the weight of the situation. He hadn't seen Coach in a while, but he remembered the man who had molded him into the player and person he had become. LeBron took a deep breath before entering the gym, ready to face his mentor, not just as the student, but as someone who could help him through this tough time. This meeting, he knew, would be the first step in changing everything. But what LeBron didn't expect was the emotional weight that would come with reconnecting. What he found that day would shock him, and it would set the stage for a series of events that no one could have predicted. LeBron entered the gym slowly, his footsteps echoing in the nearly empty space. The familiar smell of polished wood and old basketball shoes instantly brought him back to his high school days. The gym, though slightly worn, still held the energy of countless games and practices, memories of his time under Coach Walker's guidance. As he walked to the court, LeBron spotted a figure sitting on the bench near the sideline. Coach Walker. His back was to him, but there was no mistaking the posture. The same man who had once stood so tall, commanding respect from his players, now seemed smaller, more hunched, as if the years and struggles had taken their toll. "Coach?" LeBron called out, his voice uncertain, but filled with warmth. Coach Walker turned slowly, a surprised but genuine smile crossing his face as he recognized the voice. "LeBron, you're here." LeBron took a few more steps forward, now standing in front of his old coach, who was still dressed in an old basketball hoodie, his face showing signs of wear and time. "Yeah, Coach. I'm here." LeBron's tone softened, filled with emotion. "I saw the article. I didn't know it had gotten this bad." Coach Walker looked down for a moment, his expression shifting. "I didn't want you to know about all this, LeBron. You've got your own life, your own empire to worry about. The last thing I wanted was for you to feel responsible for me." LeBron shook his head, stepping closer. "Coach, that's not how this works. You've always been there for me. When I needed someone to push me, you were there. When I doubted myself, you believed in me. I can't just walk away and pretend like I don't see what's going on." Coach Walker sighed deeply, running a hand through his thinning hair. "LeBron, I'm not asking for sympathy. I've been trying to handle everything on my own. It's not easy, but I didn't want to burden you. LeBron took a moment to let those words sink in. He could see the pain in Coach Walker's eyes. The pride that once made him so strong was now a wall that was hard to break down. "You don't have to handle it alone, Coach," LeBron said firmly. "I'm here. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, I'm going to make sure you get it." There was a long pause before Coach Walker finally spoke again, his voice quieter, almost defeated. "LeBron, I appreciate that. But I've been down this road before. People say they'll help, but things change and the world moves on. I don't want to be a burden. I've got my pride, you know?" LeBron nodded, understanding the complexity of Coach Walker's pride. He knew that his mentor had always been a man of self-sufficiency, someone who valued hard work and independence above all else. But now, in this moment, LeBron could see how those values were weighing him down, turning into something that was holding him back from asking for the help he so desperately needed. "Coach, I'm not here to offer you pity or some charity. I'm here to offer you a way out, a chance to regain everything you've lost," LeBron said with determination. "You gave me everything you had when I needed it. Now I'm giving you everything I have. Let me help you. Whatever it takes." Coach Walker's eyes filled with unshed tears, and for the first time in a long while, he seemed truly vulnerable. "You're a great man, LeBron. I'm proud of you, more than you'll ever know. But I don't know if I can accept help. I've never been the type to rely on anyone." LeBron took a step closer, placing a hand on Coach Walker's shoulder. "You don't have to do this alone anymore, Coach. You don't have to be that guy anymore. You gave me the tools to succeed. Now let me return the favor." For a long moment, there was silence. The two men stood there, the weight of the years and the struggles pressing down on them, but also a sense of healing starting to unfold. Finally, Coach Walker nodded, a slow but certain movement. "All right, LeBron. I'll take the help. But only because I know you're not doing this out of obligation. You're doing it because you care." LeBron smiled, relief flooding through him. "Of course I care, Coach. You're family to me. You always will be." With that, the decision was made. LeBron knew that this was just the beginning, and that the road ahead would be challenging. But he was committed. Coach Walker had given him everything when he needed it most, and now it was LeBron's turn to give back. LeBron helped Coach Walker in ways no one could have imagined, not just financially, but by restoring his confidence, reconnecting him with his love for coaching, and finding opportunities that reignited his passion for the game. Together, they began to rebuild, not just Coach Walker's life, but their bond, which had always been stronger than just basketball. LeBron's next move had shocked everyone. He hadn't just provided financial help, he had given Coach Walker something much more important, the belief that he could still be great, that his past struggles didn't define him. And in that moment, the impact of LeBron's gesture rippled far beyond the basketball court. After LeBron's decision to help Coach Walker, the real work began. It wasn't just about providing financial assistance, it was about bringing back the spark that Coach Walker had once ignited in himself and others. LeBron knew that while money could provide temporary relief, it was the restoration of Coach's dignity and passion for coaching that would make a lasting impact. LeBron decided that the best way to help Coach Walker was to reconnect him with the game in a meaningful way. He had always admired the way his coach had an intuitive grasp of the game, the way he could inspire the team to dig deep and find the extra gear when it mattered most. Coach Walker had the heart of a true mentor, and LeBron wanted to help him rediscover that. The first step was practical. LeBron knew that Coach Walker had been struggling with financial instability, and while the money from LeBron's personal fund would help, it wasn't the whole solution. So LeBron called in a favor from an old friend, someone in the basketball community who could provide Coach Walker with an opportunity to get back into coaching. "Coach, I've got someone I want you to meet," LeBron said one afternoon when he called Coach Walker. "This is going to be a game changer." Coach Walker was hesitant at first, unsure about returning to the game after so many years. But LeBron assured him that this was the perfect chance to get back on his feet. He arranged a meeting with the executive director of a local nonprofit basketball league that supported underprivileged kids in Akron. This league had been looking for a mentor and coach to guide young athletes, and it was a perfect fit for Coach Walker's skills and background. LeBron drove Coach Walker to the meeting, making sure he understood how important this opportunity was. When they arrived at the league's headquarters, Coach Walker was greeted warmly by the staff and introduced to the young athletes who could potentially benefit from his mentorship. It was an emotional moment. As soon as Coach Walker stepped into the gym, he was enveloped by the familiar sounds of basketballs bouncing, sneakers squeaking on the court, and the laughter of kids, sounds that once defined his entire life. For a brief moment, he hesitated, unsure of how to approach the situation. LeBron placed a hand on his shoulder. "You've got this, Coach. You've done it before. This is where you belong." Coach Walker smiled, and as if something inside him clicked, he walked toward the kids, offering them a genuine smile. "All right, who's ready to learn how to play basketball the right way?" The kids cheered, and Coach Walker's eyes lit up. It was as if a fire had been reignited within him. He fell back into his element, demonstrating drills, teaching the kids techniques, and sharing the same wisdom that had shaped LeBron all those years ago. The young players immediately took to him, drawn to his sincerity and expertise. Coach Walker found himself enjoying the act of teaching again, the thrill of watching the kids improve, of shaping their growth on and off the court. For LeBron, watching this transformation was both heartwarming and humbling. He realized that giving Coach Walker the chance to mentor others had not only helped the coach, but had also given him a renewed sense of purpose. And, in a way, it had brought their bond full circle. LeBron had learned from Coach Walker the importance of passing on knowledge, and now, LeBron was helping Coach do the same. Coach Walker didn't just teach basketball that day, he taught the kids about life. He told them about his own struggles, how hard it had been to get back on his feet, and how important it was to never give up, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. After the session, Coach Walker turned to LeBron, his eyes filled with gratitude. "I didn't think I'd feel this way again. This is what I was missing." LeBron smiled, happy to see his coach back where he belonged. "I knew you'd find your way back, Coach. You're meant for this. And now, these kids get to learn from the best." LeBron's decision to bring Coach Walker back into coaching wasn't just about giving him a second chance at a career. It was about restoring his dignity and reminding him of the power he had to shape the next generation. And in doing so, LeBron had reminded himself of the importance of mentorship, of lifting others up, and of showing gratitude to those who had shaped his own journey. But the biggest surprise was yet to come. What Coach Walker didn't know was that LeBron had more in store for him, something that would truly change his life and allow him to finish his career on a high note. The next move LeBron made would go even further than anyone could have imagined. As weeks went by, Coach Walker continued to thrive in his new role. He had regained his confidence, and the children he mentored respected him immensely. LeBron continued to visit regularly, checking in on his coach, offering words of encouragement, and making sure that everything was going smoothly. The bond they shared seemed stronger than ever before, as LeBron watched Coach Walker transform into the leader he once was. But LeBron wasn't satisfied. He could see that Coach Walker still hadn't fully recovered from the years of hardship. Though he had found joy in coaching again, LeBron knew that there was one more thing he could do to help him truly regain everything, something that would leave Coach Walker in awe. LeBron had always been a man of action. He didn't just want to talk about helping others, he wanted to make a real, tangible difference in their lives. That's when the idea came to him. He'd been thinking about it for a while, but now it felt like the right time. LeBron made a call to his financial advisor and to his business team. He knew that Coach Walker had always struggled with money, even before everything else had fallen apart. The strain had left him with a pile of debt, and though he was getting by, he wasn't in a position to fully recover. The decision was made. LeBron knew it was time to take matters into his own hands and do something that would change Coach Walker's life forever. A few days later, LeBron invited Coach Walker to a special dinner. It wasn't anything extravagant, just a quiet meal at a small restaurant in Akron. Coach Walker, still humble and reserved, was thrilled to be spending time with LeBron, but he had no idea what was coming. As they ate, LeBron took a deep breath and looked across the table at Coach Walker. His coach, who had shaped him into the man he had become, still carried a burden on his shoulders. It was time to lighten that load. "Coach," LeBron began, "I've been thinking a lot lately about everything you've done for me. You've given me so much, and now I want to give something back. You've been through a lot, and it's time that you don't have to worry about money anymore." Coach Walker looked at LeBron, his brow furrowed in confusion. "LeBron, I don't know what you're talking about. You've already done more than enough for me, you don't need to." LeBron cut him off gently. "Coach, I'm not talking about something small. I want to take care of everything, your debts, your bills. I want to make sure you never have to worry about money again. It's the least I can do after everything you've done for me." Coach Walker stared at LeBron, his eyes wide with disbelief. "What are you saying?" "LeBron, this is too much. I can't accept that." "You don't have a choice, Coach," LeBron said with a smile. "It's already done. I've taken care of it. All the bills, all the debt, it's gone. You've earned this. You've earned peace of mind, and it's time you had it." Coach Walker sat in stunned silence, struggling to process the words. For so many years, he had struggled to make ends meet, and now LeBron had wiped it all away. The weight of it all seemed almost too much for him to bear. Finally, Coach Walker's voice cracked as he spoke. "LeBron, I don't know what to say. This is beyond anything I ever imagined. I never asked for this, and yet you're giving it to me. I don't deserve this." LeBron reached across the table, placing a hand on Coach Walker's. "You deserve it, Coach. You've given so much to me and to so many others. You taught me how to be strong, how to fight through adversity, and how to believe in myself when no one else did. Now it's my turn to give back to you." For the first time in years, Coach Walker's eyes welled up with tears. He had always been the one to offer support, to give strength to others, but in this moment, he felt completely overwhelmed by LeBron's generosity and love. "Thank you, LeBron," Coach Walker whispered, his voice full of emotion. "Thank you for giving me a chance to live without this burden. I don't know what I did to deserve someone like you, but I'll never forget this." LeBron smiled, his heart full. "You don't need to thank me, Coach. You gave me everything I needed to get here. This is just a small part of what I can do for you. You're not alone in this." The dinner ended with a deep sense of mutual respect and gratitude. LeBron had done more than just provide financial relief. He had given Coach Walker the chance to truly start over, to regain his peace and dignity. It was a gesture that no one had expected, and it would go on to change the course of both of their lives. But the story didn't end there. LeBron had more plans for Coach Walker, and the next move would be even more surprising than this one. The days following the dinner were a whirlwind of emotions for Coach Walker. He had always prided himself on his independence, on his ability to handle challenges on his own. But this act of kindness from LeBron, something so generous and life-changing, left him feeling vulnerable, overwhelmed, and, for the first time in years, truly grateful. When Coach Walker first received the news that his debts were paid and that he would no longer have to worry about his financial struggles, he didn't know how to react. He had always been a man who carried the weight of his responsibilities alone. He never sought help, never wanted to burden anyone with his problems. But now, here he was, not only accepting help but also realizing that someone who had once been his student, someone he had helped shape, was now taking care of him in ways he never thought possible. Coach Walker spent hours reflecting on LeBron's gesture. He had always been proud of the young man LeBron had become, but this was something different. It wasn't just about money, it was about respect, about love, and about the bond they shared that transcended basketball. That evening, after sitting alone in his small apartment, Coach Walker picked up the phone. He knew what he needed to do. He dialed LeBron's number and waited as it rang. "Hey, "Coach," LeBron answered on the second ring, his voice full of warmth. "LeBron, I don't even know where to begin," Coach Walker said, his voice breaking slightly. "I can't believe what you've done for me. I'm at a loss for words." LeBron chuckled softly. "Coach, you don't have to say anything. You've always been there for me, and now it's my turn to be there for you. But this is beyond anything I ever expected. I never imagined you would do something like this. You've not only given me financial peace of mind, but you've restored my dignity. I don't know how to express how much this means to me," Coach Walker continued, his words tinged with emotion. LeBron paused for a moment, letting his coach's words sink in. "Coach, you've been a father figure to me. You believed in me when nobody else did. You gave me a chance, and you pushed me to be the best version of myself. I owe everything to you, and I'll never forget that." The silence on the other end of the line was heavy, as Coach Walker fought back tears. He had always been the strong one, the one who kept his emotions in check, but this act of kindness was so profound, so unexpected, that it brought him to the brink of tears. I don't deserve this, LeBron," Coach Walker whispered. "I never asked for help. I've always tried to manage on my own." LeBron's voice softened. "Coach, you've done enough. You've given everything to me and so many others. You deserve happiness. You deserve to live without the weight of worry and stress hanging over you. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to help you." The conversation ended with Coach Walker saying something that LeBron would carry with him forever. "You've not only changed my life, LeBron, but you've reminded me that sometimes it's okay to accept help, to let others in. You've taught me something I never thought I'd learn. Thank you. Thank you for giving me my life back." As the call ended, LeBron felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. He had done something that truly mattered, not just for his coach, but for himself. In helping Coach Walker, he had found a deeper sense of purpose. The ripple effect of his gesture began to spread through the community. News of LeBron's generosity quickly spread, and many people, including former teammates and those who had known Coach Walker over the years, were moved by the story. LeBron's unexpected kindness became a symbol of the power of giving back, of the impact of mentorship, and of the bonds that last long after the final whistle is blown. For Coach Walker, this was the beginning of a new chapter. With the financial burden lifted and his sense of purpose restored, he began to find his joy in coaching again. He became a mentor to the next generation of athletes, instilling in them the same lessons he had taught LeBron all those years ago: the importance of hard work, integrity, and most importantly, the belief in themselves. LeBron's actions had not only helped his coach, but had sparked something within him as well. The journey from humble beginnings to the NBA had taught him that success isn't just measured by championships or accolades, but by the lives you touch along the way. And in that moment, LeBron knew he had made an impact far beyond the basketball court. But even as Coach Walker's life began to turn around, LeBron knew that the biggest lesson was yet to come. His next move would not only change Coach Walker's life, but it would create a legacy that no one could have foreseen. The days following their phone conversation and the financial relief LeBron had provided to Coach Walker were filled with a sense of new beginnings. Coach Walker, now free from the constant stress of financial instability, began to regain his sense of self. The fire he had once had for coaching, for mentoring young athletes, began to burn brighter again. He was back in the gym, teaching kids and young athletes, not just basketball, but life lessons, the same lessons that had shaped LeBron. LeBron continued to check in with him regularly, always offering encouragement and asking how things were going. Their bond had deepened, not just because of the help LeBron had given him, but because they shared something that went beyond basketball: a deep, unspoken respect for one another and the challenges they had both faced. Then, one day, Coach Walker reached out to LeBron. He had been thinking a lot about his future, about how he wanted to continue giving back to the game that had given him so much. He had come up with an idea, one that would not only honor the time he had spent coaching, but would also create an opportunity to bring young athletes into the spotlight, the way LeBron had once been brought up by people who believed in him. "LeBron, I've been thinking," Coach Walker said during one of their regular calls. I want to start something, an academy, a place where kids from tough backgrounds can come, get trained, not just in basketball, but in life. I want to do it the right way, the way we did it when you were with me in high school." LeBron was quiet for a moment, his mind racing as he listened to his former coach's idea. He could hear the excitement and conviction in Coach Walker's voice. This was more than just an idea, it was a calling. "Coach," LeBron finally said, "I think that's a great idea. You've always wanted to give back. And I can help make it happen. Let's do this together." For Coach Walker, hearing LeBron's words was the confirmation he needed. He had spent years feeling like his contribution to the game was over, that his time had passed. But now, with LeBron's support, it felt like everything was coming full circle. Over the next few months, they worked tirelessly to create the foundation for the new academy. LeBron's team helped with the logistics, the funding, and the publicity, while Coach Walker focused on developing the curriculum, recruiting coaches, and setting up the infrastructure. The goal was clear: to create an academy where kids could get the same opportunities LeBron had received, where they could learn the game of basketball, yes, but also gain the life skills necessary to succeed in the world beyond the court. When the academy finally opened its doors, it was more successful than they could have ever imagined. Not only did it attract the brightest young athletes, but it also became a community center, a place where families, mentors, and coaches came together to support the next generation. Coach Walker's academy became a symbol of resilience, dedication, and the power of mentorship. LeBron attended the opening ceremony, standing beside Coach Walker, who had tears in his eyes as he spoke to the crowd of young athletes and their families. "This academy isn't just about basketball," Coach Walker said, his voice breaking with emotion. "It's about teaching these kids that they can be anything they want to be. It's about showing them that, no matter where you come from, no matter how hard life gets, you have the power to change your destiny." The crowd erupted in applause, and LeBron stepped forward, placing a hand on Coach Walker's shoulder. "Coach, you're the reason I'm standing here today," LeBron said. "You taught me to believe in myself, and now you're giving these kids the same opportunity. This academy is your legacy, and I'm honored to be a part of it." As Coach Walker looked out at the young faces in the crowd, he realized that his own journey had come full circle. The struggles he had faced, the hardships he had endured, all led him to this moment. And in that moment, he knew that he had made a lasting impact, not just on one player, but on an entire generation. LeBron's shocking move to help Coach Walker had turned into something far greater than either of them had imagined. It was more than just a financial gesture, it was a life-changing moment that had set the stage for something much bigger, a new beginning for Coach Walker, and a new future for the kids who would one day walk through the doors of the academy, ready to change their lives. And for LeBron, it was a reminder that true greatness lies not just in winning titles or accumulating wealth, but in lifting others up, and giving back, and in creating opportunities for the next generation to thrive.